Are we ready to begin? I am. Hello and welcome to today's stream. I'm Professor Bodhi, aka Mr. Bonny John. I'm making a mess all over here. How are you guys? Welcome to an early stream today. Hello, Spore, Lowen, and JC Armand over at the Discord. Welcome in. Hope you guys are all doing well. Indeed, it is an early stream. I'll be closing shop at around 5. If not, maybe earlier. I am going out a little later. So I wanted to at least get in some sort of art because the Xotempo train is not stopping. Now that there is officially 111 creatures that I've designated for this dex, I more than anything want to like finish this first pass. It's kind of like a mental thing. Hello, monster. So not much. Just getting ready to head out. But before that, like I said, I wanted to work on another 2-stage line, as you guys know, and I'll go ahead and pull up the compendium. I'm fast approaching completing a first pass of all the creatures. In fact, I'm very glad that I'm not doing a Pokemon inspired 150, right? Or 151. I'm doing my own take. And one way or another, I'm doing it at least this first pass all by myself. And I guess I'm self-conscious about, oh, your monster tamer only has 111 creatures, and it's like, no, that's still a lot. By all, means, like, in a world where, I doubt for the first game, right? You gotta get out there first. There's no way, I could get all these animated and really fleshed out, It's going to be models, like simple, more than likely 2D kind of models and whatnot. So regardless, I want to put my best into these designs, and little by little, I'm just going to kind of knock out this tall order one way or another, right? 111 designs, and I'm almost there, which is very exciting. So in particular, and I'm going to zoom in all the way here, this is who we're going to be working on today. Now, there are varying levels to how these ghosties, which is the theme of today's episode of the stream, resonate in Hindu and Buddhist culture. I myself grew up around the word Pisasha, which you can see will be the first. Sir, it's 3 p.m. I'm heading out in the evening, like I was saying yesterday, so I have to stream for you guys. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so I'll get ready soon. But right now, my time is for you. So, whereas yesterday we looked at Philippine culture, we looked at Zanzibar in Africa for the Popo Bawa. Today, we're going back to my territory, in which this whole region is mostly Southeast Asian, Indian, Buddhist, Hindu-inspired mythologies and cryptids with, a lot of variety in between, right? To make sure it feels a little more rounded. Because I myself have grown around so many different cultures, and I, wanted to offer variety, right? So I will go ahead and teach you guys about today's creepy, kind of entities, which it's a little, it's just a little tricky. Only because I would say, uh, again, the power scaling is different. Philippines mentioned, hell yeah. So like I said, Bisasha, right? In my understanding and growing up in a Roman Catholic household where these Bisasha, are, very old concepts, right? How does that translate in to modern culture, right? Meaning if you're not from a Hindu family, right, and you don't necessarily believe it. Well, this kind of stuff is still a concept, right? Maybe not so much in Christianity as far as a parallel. So how I heard this term Pisasha, Stretchy 730, thank you, Danny. I appreciate you. Mwah to you. But more or less, the idea is it's like demons, ghosts, monsters, right? It's like a general kind of term. So what I want to do is I kind of want to at first I was thinking about uh more or less like if the first form has to be a contained form with a mask. I like the idea of the mask containing the ghost within. So I'm trying to figure out what it could be. And the reason why I like this through line, so I'll teach you about Pisasha first, so we understand what we're dealing with today, and how it evolves into the always hungry ghost, who has a proper name. I'll teach you there so you don't get overwhelmed later. Pisashas in Sanskrit are flesh-eating demons in Indian religions, appearing in Hindu and Buddhist mythologies. A Pisasha is a malevolent being that has often been referred to as the very manifestation of evil. So, like I said, in the future, I could always come around and give a lot of these creatures evolution and whatnot. But more than likely, again, I just kind of want to keep this a simple two-stage line. In certain concepts, I don't want to go too far into, right? Like, for example, yesterday's Manangaran. I could have potentially made that a third stage form, but I decided not to because I wanted to keep it in a cutesy way. I think I want to do the same thing with a ghost too. I asked you guys today in the community page over at my channel, question of the day, who's your favorite ghost here and why? And on 161 votes, the winner is Mimikyu at 48%, which was very surprising to me. Next up was Sableye with 25, Gengar at 15, and Rotom at 11. So the reason why I asked is because I want to have a ghost that kind of fits in that silly kind of vibe like these guys. So, first of all, I gotta say, I'm very surprised that Gengar landed at third place. And, there's clear bias. I'm a huge Gengar fan, but I figured a lot of people would be as well. But I guess coupled against some heavy hitters, it's understandable. Sableye and Mimikyu are very cute. There's a story to Mimikyu as well that, it wants to be loved, and it's scary, right? As you can see, I've also pulled up some very popular ghosts, right, in media, between Boo, between Whisper, and then Slimer. So, I have a feeling that I'm going to keep mine very similar to this kind of design, just because it's a very set in stone, despite the fact that they're very intangible designs. So, chat, I'll go ahead and get started on, at the very least, yes it is. Now, if it's not for Pisasha, right, I'm going to evolve this into something called the Preta. also known as the hungry ghosts. It's the Sanskrit name for a type of supernatural being described in Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and Chinese folk religion as undergoing suffering greater than that of humans, particularly an extreme level of hunger and thirst. So, they have origins in Indian religions, have been adopted into East Asian religions via the spread of Buddhism. Often translated as hungry ghost, um, but they are much more varied. The idea, and this is really cool, is that this is a concept where it's a creature that's truly kind of living in a purgatory. This creepy, scary being, where they're hungry ghosts, right? But they're hungry for obtaining karmic reincarnation, more or less. So the idea here is that pretas are believed to have been false, corrupted, compulsive, deceitful, jealous, or greedy people in a previous life. As a result of their karma, they are afflicted with an insatiable hunger for a particular substance or object. Traditionally, this is something more repugnant or humiliating, such as cadavers or feces. Though in more recent stories, it can be anything, however bizarre. In addition to having insatiable hunger for an aversive item, pretas are said to have disturbing visions. Pretas and human beings occupy the same physical space, and while humans looking at a river would see clear water, pretas see the same river flowing with an aversive substance. Common examples of such visions include pus and filth. Ugh. The Sanskrit term preta means departed, deceased, a dead person from praita, literally gone forth, departed. So it's a pretty gross creature that fits very much in the, I guess you could say or rather, my take of it will be something just far more not as nasty, looking for, feces, pus, filth. I'll pull up some depictions, which in this case, it's literally just a skeleton, right? So that's not really much I can use as far as inspiration. Over here, this one might give us more of a clearer picture, where you can see the hungry ghosts are extremely skinny, but they have big bellies. And this is to show that they're not taking care of their mental or their actual body, but feeding only one thing, their impulse, right? So I think what I'm going to do is give this creature a really big belly. And I kind of want to go with traditional Indian demonic kind of imagery. I think that'd look really cool. Even something like this, I'm finding a mask from Bali. Um, I think this kind of registers exactly how I want to depict the face. Something terrifying. But yet it looks cartoony, right? So again, because the concept is just so scary, right? More or less. It's worth it to kind of dial it back down. Hello, Danny. Welcome in. Welcome. So, again, if you guys know what I can do for the first form, again, I like the idea of a containment unit. In fact, let me see. Containment unit for ghosts. Because it could be fun to, get that involved. So let me write, or I'll write how to catch spirits. I think that could be really fun. So how to catch spirits. Oh, here we go. HiggyPop.com. It says catch a ghost using a candle and a jar. So maybe a candle could be a very fun first, form. Catch a ghost using box burial. So, maybe some sort of sarcophagus or a coffin could be a good first form. Catch a ghost using electromagnetic containment. Catch a ghost using a spirit trap. A Rowan's cross or Ojo de Dios, God's eye. A spirit trap is a wooden cross with string woven across the midpoint. The way this trap works is by enticing the spirit and causing it to ensnare itself. Then there's something called a witch bottle. So maybe what I'll do is maybe the first form can be a candle. And that it's kind of like a eulogy kind of Xotempo. And then once it evolves, it breaks free of the candle or the containment and becomes, this preta, this hungry ghost. Real quick question. You're going to make a Xotempo that's based off of Tsuchinoko, not in this first pass. It could be something I do in the future. I really did want to have the identity of this region be, where my family grew up, right? Southeast India or Southeast Asia, Indian Pacific. And because that's going to bring me creatures that we haven't seen in a Pokemon game, right? Since I'm making my own take on it, I more or less realized that I want to create something new and stuff that we haven't seen. And every now and then there will be obvious crossovers, right? As far as folklore, where, you know, it's a situation where, oh, maybe he'll have like a long face, this ghost candle. And, if I were to do more Pokemon inspired designs in this first pass, I think that's just going to invite more people to be like, wow, you're copying Pokemon, you're so original. And certain creatures like the Tsuchinoko, aka Dunsparce, would certainly, they would certainly, I guess, inspire that comparison. Or, hello, Dingus, hello, Draco. So I basically, as I said yesterday, I would be getting on early because I am going out in a couple of hours. So, as I said at the top of the stream, I wanted to, and make sure this guy doesn't seem too much like Litwick. Which it's going to be hard not to get comparisons. But again, if you guys have ideas for how I can make this less like Litwick, let me know. I'm not married to the idea of using a candle for a containment unit, like I said, because I think that would be really fun for this ghost. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I can even make this instead of a Pisasha. I can just straight up call this. So the term for like a ghost is booth. So I feel like I'll probably go for that because it'll be a more general ghosty, and then I'll evolve it into Reta, the hungry ghost. Yeah. What's going on, chat? Hope you guys have been well. I really, really want to get all 100 and quick math. That's taking me embarrassingly long to finish. I want to do about, because there's a bunch of designs you guys won't get to see. And I want to basically do it as all the 2 and 3 stage lines, and get that done so I can really start the first pass for everything. Just really make sure everything feels right. For some reason, I can see the Tsuchinoko. Yeah, that could make sense. That could make sense. I see that for sure, right? Like a simple worm, snake-like thing becoming a snake elephant-like creature, for sure. All right, now how do I do the face? Oh, you know what? Maybe it's not really that complex. It's just a candle. You're making this due to candle. You could double up your concept and say it's also big. Well, I'd rather not double up. I'd rather like let a will-o-wisp be more of its own thing. But I maybe it could be a will-o-wisp that becomes a pisasha, because this would be a more generic booth, because it's not like it's a specific um a specific Indian booth, right? Or ghost. It's more like, again, I'm trying to do a containment unit. And when this breaks, or not when it breaks, but when it evolves, it releases itself from its containment, right? The totem mask or helmet. And then it becomes the preta, the hungry ghost. There we go. It could be. I mean, it could be the will-o-wisp. Although I feel like if I did do will-o-wisp, I'd want it to evolve into a creature that's more primarily, you know, a fire elemental type, right? Because it is so strongly connected with fire. But at the same time, I guess that's not the most important thing. Um, but what is the pinchak? Where is that from? So again, what do you guys think? Do we like a candle as the first stage, which is, kind of fitting, right? Like you see candles for eulogies and symbol of departure into the afterlife, pretty much like, you know, Dingus had said, like a nod to a will-o-wisp potentially. Um, or it could even be an incense stick. I could do an incense stick and have it kind of burning, right? That way it's a little less different than Litwick. Hello, Pookie. What's up? There's also Candle Digimon. Is there? Okay. Welcome in, Spooky Pookie. Another quick question I want to ask: is your Xotempo game gonna appear in Gym Leader Ed's? I have no idea. That's up to whoever that is. I'm not sure. Probably not, because it's not, officially anything yet. It's just a concept for now, but I'm hoping to make it real one day, right? That's why the goal to kind of make it a pitch bible is very important, right? You know. So maybe. Oh, I think I know what I could do. What I could do instead of a candle per se. Hello, Joe Bill. I know what I can do. So there is something that Indians liked as far as, so like within puja, which is this kind of like offering type of thing for prayer and whatnot. It could be something like this. Otherwise, how do I make this mask? Maybe if anything, the pinach, the pinchake cryptid, not to be confused with the tapir's scientific name, carnivorous from Colombian Andes. Copy that. Yeah, that would make a good movement across evolutions for sure. Okay. I'll let this could make it and make it a sensor. What is a sensor? Let's find out. Oh, yeah. It could be something like this. There's like an Indian version, essentially. Maybe I can do that. Or it could be an urn or ashes. or an incense burner, right? Let's see. Brass holder. There's a lot of cool looking designs here. Would an urn be maybe too much? Okay, let's get rid of the candle thing because I think, yeah, people are going to say Litwick, understandably. So let Litwick have his time. I love Litwick's design, by the way. Um, and then maybe, but how would the mask look? Because I already have a pot, and would an urn be like too much? You guys think like an urn is too? I want to say just on the nose, as it were. But it would be. Is that like too dark for children's property? So let me take you off the Litwick allegations. The Litwick allegations. Um, maybe so. Maybe it could just be kind of an urn. All right. A lot of things you can turn the wooden mask into. Because this could be a situation where, I have a potted plant where that's the helmet, right? Um, honestly, see the candles are tempo. Yes, it's no longer going to be a candle one. Let's do, and you know what? Yeah, let's have a trail of just for some movement, something like that. Maybe it hops around in the pot and it's like waiting to be freed. You know what? I think it'd be okay. Should I do something where it's just got little legs like this? And it's like a little ghost? So, okay, how about this? It's like this. Into a coffin. We have cough egregious. I'm gonna keep it simple because coffin would be, I think, too big for a first form. Let me do an urn, and the smoke will, instead of being smoke of the ashes, which is like kind of dark, it'll just be a trail of fire. Like the spirit is kind of like trapped and trying to leave, but Grandpa, come back to. Oh my god, it's gonna be the darkest episode of Xotempo. So what I'll do is, so this entire part could be the wooden part. And honestly, it's kind of fitting for the ghost to be, part object mod, right? And then you know what? The top part could be. Ooh, what if it's something like this? Where I have, because it's a little boring. So what if I did something like this, where I have his like hands at the top, and it's just so infinitely dark in there that you can't see what it is? Because I feel like the other way it would be very boring. So that would mean got a fun expression going on. I could give it deliberate cracks. Actually, you know what? The potted plant has cracks. So let me make it like perhaps yearning. Wow, that's great. Um, let's see. I want to see if I can keep booth in there because you have the boo built in. So yearning is like what is the spelling specifically? Because you have earn. Oh, I see. So it's just earn within with yearning, like yearning to live. It's clever. Hmm. Is earn the right way to go? Let me look up earns. Oh, wait a second. Indian burials are kind of dark. I don't even think I can show it. I mean, it's not that it's dark. It's just how it was, and you know, there people do this too. Um, uh, but specifically in Hinduism, it's cremation, right? What people would do was create a pyre. So maybe, oh, wait a second. So I can do this instead. This is okay. This is cool. So, I mean, cool is a weird word to use, but it's called shmashana. The cremation ground is called the shmashana, and traditionally it's located near a river, if not on the riverbank itself. Those who can afford it may go to special sacred places to complete this rite of immersion of ashes into the water. Um, but basically, it's a rite of passage based on the Veda and other Hindu texts. The cremation is like this. Last rites are usually completed within a day of death. While practices vary among sects, generally his or her body is washed. Sandalwood paste and turmeric are applied on the body. So I'll incorporate orange in this. Wrapped in a dhoti for a man and sari for a woman. Big toes are tied together with string and tilaka. Red, yellow, or white mark is placed on the forehead. That is made out of bamboo sticks on which the deceased is taken to smashana. Dead adult body is carried to the cremation ground. The eldest son, or a male mourner or priest, called the lead cremator or lead mourner, then bathes himself. His hair is cut, leaving only one strand of hair called the shika before leading the cremation ceremony. So, what I'm going to do, um, large dung balls. Uh, so I think this is what I'm going to do. So rather, I'm gonna have it be made of wood, and let the top half be set on fire. So it'll be something like this, because that's the kind of general shape of the wood, and I'll have like the fire coming out like this. And it kind of makes sense that the body is made of fire as well. And just so I can, have people understand what it's supposed to be, it could be, like an urn shape. You know? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, he is classic. Um, let's see. He's gonna need. Why don't I just make it mad cute like this? I'm gonna have it be like charred. Is this insensitive? Hmm. Also, I'm just going to. Wonder if this is a little too insensitive. Is it supposed to represent the cremation in Hinduism? My work just stop hopping in? Nice, nice. Welcome in. I did start very early. Hope work is going well for you, Alex. Low with the firewood. Now I can see it stage being third Wicker Man. It would make sense, but I want to keep it within the family line of Hinduism and Buddhism. Although, you know, I have played with different points of reference, right? Jumping between different cultures depending on. So, a hot schmo? What is schmo? Or s'mores? Do you mean? Dang, I would want some s'mores. Oh, honestly, yeah, they are very similar. And that's the thing, right? It was meant to be like a cute kind of thing, but there was something very eerie about it, right? For sure. Especially if you're a kid. So what do you think, chat? Be my moral compass and be honest, because you know I'm not married to any of these designs yet. Is this a little is this lacking a little bit of finesse? Is it kind of messed up that I gave them little legs and they're kind of meant to be charred? I mean, he is an angry spirit. He's a booth. So he died. And then we have the funeral pyres of Hinduism. And then from there, I'm going to have him, quote unquote, be reincarnated as a hungry ghost. If anything, so you know what? I can have like soot at the top. This. They did say orange. Was it turmeric? They said. Maybe I'll have it like be the undercoating. And then I'll have the fire kind of. And I'll have this be. Don't you just want to make s'mores out of it? I'm not sure. It can go either way. Smoke ponytail would give it more character and add some cuteness to the decks. That's true. And you know I'm looking for that. So maybe the name could have something with yearning. It is just wonderful. But unfortunately, it's no longer a true urn. It's more like a funeral pyre. So why does that switch always get turned on? So it has to do with. Oh, wait a second. So pyre, and then the original base was going to be Pisasha. Pisasha, pyre. I pyre cremation would be another word. Ritual. Ceremony. Also put booth here. Booth, remember, is the Sanskrit word for. Who remembers? Let's say destructive. Fire, yeah, no matter what, fire is seen as a cleansing, reburning kind of thing. So, you know, whether or not down the line I give this guy like some other kind of evolution, like the Wicker Man could be a split Evo. Um, I would do one where I guess one would be Wicker Man and then the other would be um like an Indian demon for sure. Or maybe it's a redemption arc. One is well, Wicker Man's kind of dark, so you know what? I I don't know if I like the pyres. Maybe it's like thatched, since yeah, maybe it's gonna be like thatched in the final version. It's again a little messed up, so I'll see. But giving him cute little legs that are like mostly black because they've been kind of charred because of the process. I don't know if that's insensitive or not. A Wickerman Bonnet? Nice, dude. That's sick. Classic Ghostbusters cartoon. I remember that. Imagine a terror dog? What is terror dog? Hello, Thunder. Thunder, Thunder. Ghostbusters has always been a spooky yet. Yeah, Ghostbusters is amazing. It doesn't take itself too seriously. You know, it dares to have fun. You know, you had like comedians as part of the cast, right? So it makes sense why it had the success it did. It was truly a product of its time. And then like the last two that came out recently, I've heard are really good. I'll have to check those out. I haven't seen them yet. But Sonic Eyes, not the same as the movie design. Favorite ghost from the cartoon's Mighty What? Monster dog creatures that serve Gozer? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And then Sigourney Weaver was in the movie too, right? Pokemon parody of Ghostbusters. Why did I say Ghostbusters? So I'll have again. This black bit is like the soot of the pyre. I don't like for the silhouette the fire touching the pyre. The fire touching the pyre. So maybe I will bring it higher. On top of the spire. And so that way it kind of looks like a torch almost. So that way it doesn't feel too... Yeah, I like this. I like this. Maybe he's like a really kind of finicky spirit. He's just jumping around all over the place. And we got much higher. One of my all-time favorite albums. The Mighty What? I don't know what that is either. You know, what if I opened up a Patreon? Which I do have one at Mr. Bonny John at patreon.com. But what if I did a thing, like if I ever got to do like a Kickstarter, and I made like $1,000 donation banner, and I'm like, I'll create a Xotempo line for you to be in the game based on your suggestion. Obviously, it would have to fit the theme and all that kind of stuff, but that would be really crazy. I've seen a lot of games do that kind of stuff. So here we have the pyre. I know exactly, I think, how I want to do the evolved form, which we're almost there. This Xotempo can walk through walls, disappear, and fly? Maybe. Maybe. The evolution will for sure can. Hello, Squirrel Cat! Alright, let's go ahead. I'll finish up quickly the last kind of render bits, just to, create a really finite, defined set of details, and then we'll jump into the preta, a hungry ghost. So, okay, I really, really like this concept where this creature is based off funeral pyre, and inside the Xotempo, just like every other Xotempo, is waiting to be released. But in this case, it's kind of like the thing that releases it is like the thing that caused its death. Obviously on a symbolic level, right? Because these are spirits. Okay. Planning on doing the same Ghostbusters parody but with other creepy postures? Why not? There's also the Extreme Ghostbusters show. Huh. I don't recall that one. I never saw the that first animated series either, so. Alright, here we have the little, it's kind of like a Wicker Man essentially, right? John Wickerman. Um and you know what? I'll make it so that the inside is like this eternal blackness. As if, you know, um you can't even see inside his form. And again, the idea was these pyres stacked up wood and whatnot. Well, it kind of looks like a handbasket now. So it'll be something I need to truly kind of sit down and get the exact look for. But it's, I mean, still a very unique and interesting shape, right? It almost kind of looks like a building rooftop that's on fire. Um, but it's not. It's a pyre. Um, Bonnie Stretch, thank you. Good idea. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Let's get a good stretch in. All right. So there's the first one. I'm gonna try and think of a name. Oh, maybe Pyritual, or like pyre and ritual. Pyritual. Cremation, cream. The cream part throws me off. Um, yeah, maybe it's Pyritual, or maybe Pyricha, because Pyritual and then Pisasha. Pyritual. Praise the sun! And he's got a sun above his head. That's what I'll tell people it's based on. To troll them. Hi. Ritual. Ritual, we like it? Ritual. Also, I've been thinking about when I do the names, right? Instead of we're so used to saying, "Go Pikachu," right? I'm wondering what the Xotempo version would be, because I wouldn't want to do Pyrite. That's pretty good. And Pyrite, I believe, is fool's gold. So that, I mean, it's not so much gold, but what if I put his little hands out like this? Honestly, I don't even hate it. It's like a little guy. um, and he's just like a little gremlin dude. Actually, yeah, maybe I'm not even joking. I might do that just because then it kind of further moves away from pants. I summon you. It might be a little too, what's the word, like formal sounding. High ritual. You know what? Yeah, fine. It's a little guy. He just got burnt at his ritual in the pyre, and then he's going to be reincarnated as a scary ghost. I think we need less fingers. I agree. Smart, smart. I just did a quick kind of, but yes. You know what? It'll also make him feel less human, right? So it could be something like 3. If you guys ever seen that one show, I think Enchanted by Matt Groening, I kind of picture the creature to be like that. Mischievous little lad. Xotempo name, let's go. Go Pikachu. Our ritual, let's go. High ritual, I summon you from the realms of fun. I'm just kidding. Oh. Xotempo. Pyritual. Rise, Pyritual. Because you are summoning them. Burn. Burn, Pyritual. No, but that one is because it's fire. Rise. A light. Ooh, maybe it's a light, because they're like spirits, and like they look like will-o-wisps in the overworld, is what I'm picturing. Maybe? Oh, that's hot. Alright. Let me look at a Indian pyre. So, alright, Pupopo. I mean, again, do you guys think this is like too much? It's not too. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I am gonna kind of make it look like a house. Not really. Because the shape is kind of throwing me off again. It looks too much like a basket. And here's the thing. I will be doing a 2-stage hyena line. And guess what? One of the mythos that I'll be using as a point of reference is a basket hyena, where its head is like the shape of like a hand basket. So it would be pretty darn close. You know what? Honestly, this is a very fun design. I wish I knew. Maybe. You know what? What if I did. I don't want it to do like wooden log around. Oh, so maybe, you know what? It's much more square in shape. Oh, and you know what? It could be. Because I do like the idea of like the wicker kind of thing. Or Or it's far more simpler. And then it's just a whole bunch of logs, like wooden logs, you know? And I'll have like the soot. It does look like a little house or an urn as well.
Companies get more done and save more time. Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize
Forbidden popcorn bucket.
Asana, a smarter way to work. Try it for free today at asana.com.
So the logistics I'll have to figure out exactly. Wow, Sarah Morning is great. Back with Sandwich. How about doing something like in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds where the main duelists chant something as they summon their boss monsters? What do they chant? Oh, Sarah Morning. Sarah Morning? Soulsborne? Blue Eyes White Dragon card and Dark Magician? Hell yeah. I've got a few of those bad boys. Let's see here. Our ritual. I'll mark ceremony. Sarah Morning. A little long, but oh, Sarah Morning. Oh, Pyritual. I mean, both of those things sound like an event more than a creature, right? But I'll you know, obviously just mark that down. Still really freaking great. Okay, let's leave this guy as quote unquote done. I had a dream where I had a Yu-Gi-Oh deck called Order and Chaos, Angel and Devil. Funny enough, I had made, and I still have these decks, one zombie and one fairy. So one good, one evil feeling kind of deck as far as vibes. Okay. I mean, it's pretty cute. I think it is a successful design. Just needs a little bit of polish. You know what? I kind of do like that it looks like a building. Like a mausoleum. Maybe it could be just more squat, too. Butual? Butual doesn't have a flow, though, between the two words. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the ghost, which would basically be the entity that releases out of this creature. Which, I mean, is not like a literal thing. It's a spirit, right? So one way or another, it's not like it's actually burning down or whatever. Like it's no different than any of the other creatures evolving. But the intent is that ooh. Maybe, yeah, I think it is kind of long, so maybe it's got to be a little more squat-like. I want Exodia. I want the Exodia set so bad. That's like one that eluded me in my childhood. I have Dark Magician. I have like Jinzo, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I got the Japanese Dark Magician girl. Never got Exodia, the 5 pieces. But anyway, so now that we're up to the ghost part, and the first guy's ghost-like, right? Um, I would say that what would need to happen here is really let the design brighten up. And I really want to base it on the look feel of ghosts, right? Like the traditional, and that's why I kind of put all these other guys up on screen for you, who is just a ghost with a body with two hands. Ghost with a body, two hands. Ghost with a body, two hands. So I think that's kind of the vibe I want to go for. In a future sequel, would it be possible to do a Blue Eyes White Dragon based Xotempo's homage? See, that wouldn't be a good choice because I would rather do a Fakeamon on Blue Eyes. Because with Xotempo, the inspiration is like not just the appearance of, say, a mythology that like transcends pop culture, right? What is Blue Eyes other than a dragon? Nothing else really. It's just a dragon. So it's not like if I chose to do a Blue Eyes inspired beast, I mean, I could base it on like a clearly white scales and then blue eyes. But otherwise, I'd just be making a dragon. There's not much else unique to Blue Eyes. As cool as his design is, it's not a good jumping point. If I were to do something, it would probably be something like Exodia. I could see like an Egyptian line leading up to it. But I wouldn't do, I don't think, Yu-Gi-Oh! As much as it was very formulative in my childhood. And it has cultural impact. Don't get me wrong. Right? Like, what I'm trying to put into my concepts are like mythologies that like transcend cultural, bounds, right? Especially from like games and movies and film. The ones I've selected for the most part are all like worldwide, right? So is Yu-Gi-Oh! But it would have to be something so universally, Embu. Ooh, wait a second. I love that. Embu. Embu. Cypher Winged Dragon, same deal. I don't think they're like. I'd rather make Pokemon versions of it. Because I'll ask this, even if you guys aren't designers, what would they look like in Xotempo? Specifically, the three gods. How would I make them a Xotempo using them as inspiration? Short answer is I would be making a red Rayquaza, a blue Machamp or something, and a yellow Tyranitar or something. Yeah, exactly. Embu is very cute. But yeah, so the point of reference has to, be able to like transcend design. Those are cool designs, but like there wouldn't be anything unique about it if I brought it in. I would literally be making near carbon copies of it, right? Whereas making some Danila Phantoms here, I'm literally about to start my ghost as we speak, Harriet. Yes, indeed. So to finally jump into the evolution of the funeral pyre into the ghost, it's going to be the main element, which is that, as you can see in the illustrations here, these are regular people, but in between are the preta, right? And you can see that they all have massive tummies. And the main thing that they do is eat. But they eat repulsive and nasty things. So, looking at, Hindu masks and whatnot, I kind of want to use that as the inspiration point. Um, so I kind of want to do this thing where, again, it'll be like traditional ghost stuff, right? Where the bottom half is like this amalgamous kind of movement kind of thing, right? Danny Phantom has a trail form. Ooh, Whisper, Asper, I believe. Um, it's just a classic ghost kind of thing, right? Um, but I want to give him a little bit of a belly. Um, and dark's very inappropriate. That's true. So it's a matter of how I reformulate the intention, right? Which is what I did with the funeral pyre, for example. So I want to give him like a big belly, but if possible, I don't even give him like a head like here. I'm thinking about like if I can maybe give him on his belly. So maybe like he can have his hands on his belly. And I kind of want to have a massive mouth on the belly. So, and I also want it to be like a Gengar kind of vibe. You know? So that way, and obviously there are similarities to other ghosts. You can't really run away from that. It could be, yeah, maybe the belly does droop down here and it kind of looks like a Jabba the Hutt situation. Maybe it's like that. And he would be one of the more wackier ones. Maybe a marking, a tilika or a porte for his head. Let's have his hands come down. Now, I don't know if I'm going to love this design, and I want to. So let's see if this works. Because the thing is, Preta are nasty, disgusting creatures. So it doesn't have to look, Specterror. I've already used that name for Fakemon. Maybe a big mouth like Cyber or Boo already beat you to it, bud. Wonder how you can make it. Xotempo monsters based off a Pac-Man frog. Actually, you know what? Pac-Man is culturally significant. Maybe in the future, Pac-Man frog could be a thing. All right, let's see. Let's see how I continue to push this design. Because ultimately, I do want it to... Maybe it doesn't have eyes. You chat to tell me, Bonnie, why do you hate eyes? Honestly, it's kind of cool without eyes. So now that we have Booth in the name, like Booth, this one was Preta. Honestly, I don't like this. What if I put his eyes in his mouth? No, it's too much. Glut Terror, that's fun. Glut Threat. It is all about gluttony. Preta is definitely about that. Gluttony, hunger, they're like starving essentially for what do you call it? Like a religious freedom. Like they're trying to hit enlightenment. I'm gonna teach a team of ghosts Xotempo? I don't think I have many. I think this is the only ghost I have, I think. What Tommy? No, Tommy, I'm hearing the name Tommy. Tommy the ghost. Let's do I'll keep cooking. I do like that his face is on the bell. I mean, chat, does it look like it's on his belly? Maybe not, right? I think in order to succeed, I would have to maybe drag this down. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's something like that, where it's down. Maybe he could have a small head on the top. Looks like a lump. I mean, I kind of like it. Oh, maybe he's like covering his eyes? No. Well, if I put his No, there's like a Digimon that looks like this. For Tony! Hey, Tony and Tommy! Hello, Rick. Welcome in, welcome in. Drool? They eat the nasty stuff to actually help people and usually hang out with trash collectors. If only, but nope. They're nasty, nasty creatures. Take care, Danny. Okay, so big belly. You know what? Let's use our visual reference, right? So they've got. Oh, wait. So maybe I can give them a shape here that kind of looks like a torso and even have like the ribs. Oh, wait a second. No, that's creepy. Okay, wait. Maybe. Oh, wow. How unique could this be? This is supposed to look like the torso of a man. Right here, right? With the ribs showing. But they end up looking like eyes. And then they look like eyes. But then they got a unique shape here that makes it look like the head and then the belly. It's kind of cool. Alright. I'll just keep designing. Definitely a mouth breather, 100%. He's like a dorky ghost, that picture in the anime. Making scary ghosts is boring. The scary is subjective. Making cool ghosts, same thing. Funny ghosts are always the way to go. Alright, he's got the big teeth. How do I do this? Part of me does want to give him... Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe So I can use this to make it look like a torso, but now it looks like eyebrows. Holy shit. So this is the ribs. People won't know this. Only you guys get to know this. And then I'm going to give him like eyeliner, but it's supposed to also look like baggy eyes. This head could be flame similar to the... It could definitely have that movement, right? Hungerving. Ooh, and that sounds like unnerving too. Ghost Tempo is interesting to me since Xotempo are already spirits and ghosts aren't necessarily the same thing. It's not like that per se, Ruck. It's just that it's remember, these are spirits based off of a thing. So and then spirit is a loose word here, right? There are other creatures with spirit like in that, you know, they are from another plane of existence. They can't be really sensed by normal people, so that's how they're spirit like in that sense. So it's not so much that it's just like all these creatures are like mimicking the things they're trying to be, right? Like down here, it's not really a bat, right? It's not really whatever this is supposed to be, which is also bat-like. So it does make you think a little bit, right? Okay, so let's see. Oh, maybe see if I do it like this, it doesn't look like that's its. Oh, wait a second. It could look like its belly. Oh, what if he's holding his mouth open? That seems creepy. It is. You know what? It's definitely where the hands come in. That will make it feel like this is the belly that the mouth is on. You know? So if I do. If I do like the hands here, it definitely makes it look like the belly, right? So if I do. What if I had it coming out like this? Now it's got like Beholder vibes or something. I'm actually every single person here. You know that. I wonder what you would classify Xotempo as, chat. I mean, I guess, yeah, for all intents and purposes, it is, they are spirits. Pretty sure. As the creator. Hungeist is fun. Hungeist. It even looks like hungriest. Hungeist. This is so hot. Hello, Mr. Bonny John. How are you? I'm wonderful, Took. I am wonderful. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. I can also put Crave as a name. Reta. Retarv? No. Pretany? Right. Okay, so that looks like the body. I mean, it's definitely a creepy design. It's cute, but weird, but creepy. Not specifically, it's somewhat of a square rectangle situation. What does that mean? Where every ghost is spirit, but the reverse isn't always true. Square rectangle. Oh, because a rectangle is technically a square. Because it has 4 sides, but just like... But a rectangle specifically has... Its proportions are unilateral. Let's try his eyes. Is this again? I want it to look like the ribs. The big eyes are throwing me off, chat. Ooh. This looks a little too scary, actually. All right, so I like this a lot with the ribs. The reference to the ribs. Oh, and I can put this as a belly button, and it looks like a putte for the creature. Yo, it's pretty good. You know what? Just to make him cute, I'll give him eyes like this. You guys like the fangs like this? It's based off of like this kind of mask. Oh my god, that's so sick with the torso. No one's gonna know. They're just gonna think it's just the shape of its head. So now that's the torso. Here's the belly with the mouth hanging out. You know what? Yeah, I'll have that shape does not look good. So I'll erase over here. He's like a little ice cream ghost. But he's not an ice cream. This is like a big belly. It's gluttonous. And then, yeah, this part will be... Bro, perfect! There it is. I like it a lot. Maybe Stalk Eye's like a slug. I like this. Fantuger. Fantunger. No, but that's just two words combined. Hungul. Hungul. There's some movement there from from hunger and then ghoul. Hungul. Well, there's Hungeist and Hungul. Now, what color is this guy going to be? Hungul. Awesome fangs. You mentioned it looking like Digimon-esque, and I can actually think one of specifically the head shape and predicted reminiscent of Shogun Gekomon. It's always interesting that because the naming convention is, something Mon, so they capitalize the gecko part, make sure it's two different words. Shogun Gekomon. It's ugly. Ugh. Gekomon? Oh, Gekomon is... Ugh. Alright. See what you're saying. But this is ugly. I got an idea! To further sell the belly thing, I could give him a button nose, like an Audi belly button, and it'll look like a nose, but it's actually a belly button. Wait a second. I liked kind of what was happening there. Also, I'm getting Gyarados vibes, funny enough. What if I did this as like a... It looks like a porte, right? Or tilika. But it looks like... Yo, this is so clever. If I may say so. I don't know me to... And that's supposed to be the ribs of the torso of the hungry ghost. And the belly is what's animated. Imagine just how disgusting it'd be by licking the juice bar. Oh, nasty. Light blue, maybe. Something interesting that I discovered these days was a way to create Pokemons using data. I saw this in a video. It helped me a lot to create my Pokemons. Nice. He's really fun looking. Teeth are cool. Thank you. Thank you. It not be capitalized like that. It's just capitalization of Digimon names confuses me. No, it is when I looked it up. It makes sense. It makes it a little easier to read because you get to see where the break is. Shogun Gekomon. Kind of a kind of meme. Sentient belly, indeed. Um. All right, so I'll do this. I wonder if it could be cool to give him a sideways mouth too. But that might be trying too hard, and it'll probably feel like pincer too. Anything else I can do to make it feel more? Oh, I guess as far as let's look up. I'm gonna look up Rakshasa because I'm gonna see what the masks look like, so I can potentially. Um, oh, you know what I want to do though, chat? I do want to give this guy hands. He doesn't need them, to be honest, because his mouth is big enough as a feature where it more or less as far as a feature goes, it's all about the mouth, the stomach, that's together, right? So I'm trying to think. So I would want the hands to come out from here, but it makes it feel too like alien or something, you know? It just doesn't look good because even though this is supposed to look like this would really sell that top part is a torso, you know? But then it looks really humanoid, and that's kind of creepy, you know? So he may not need hands. It could be something like this where they come out at the side. Conversely, I did get the top part already feeling whether or not like it needs to look like the torso and stuff, it's there. But what if it may not need hands, huh, chat? I wish I could do the whole Gengar thing, or not Gengar, but Haunter thing with the floating hands. But it's too iconic to Haunter. Oh, and then funny enough, it says he could have Haunter type hands. It'd be too much. If the outward turning fangs, it would look awkward sideways. I wouldn't do the same style teeth if I did turn it sideways. Sentient heart. The body part trio. What are the other body parts? There's a lot more personality. Yeah, you have to. After some point, if it's all the same, it gets boring. So you can't. What program do you use for drawing? I use Photoshop. I use Photoshop on my PC. All right, let's just color this guy. I don't think he needs hands. I would say that if anything, I can always figure that later, you know? This is pretty fun. I really want to go lean into color. Part of me does want to go with like red lips. Oh, it would be nice to give him like a mustache too, because you see a lot of Rakshasa and demons like that have mustaches in Southeast Asian art and depiction. I'm gonna give this. Okay, Whisper is blue lips. He doesn't have blue tongue, right? Because I feel like a blue tongue would be amazing on this guy. Furthermore, rather than do... Okay, this is going to sound gross, but remember, Preta are stinking gross, literally. Where we see rivers or fountains, they are punished to see pus and filth. And that's what they're attracted to. So what if I kept the teeth white? Right? But I made his body like piss yellow, like a nasty... And it kind of looks like the, you know, it's like jaundiced, right? A condition, not to mention it doesn't look like any kind of ghost I've seen. Conversely, like obviously a green ghost would be pretty great choice, but it's like a little too obvious, right? Like it looks awesome, don't get me wrong, but it might be a little too, you know, it might just have to be this yellow. And I could do this cool thing where the top half could be like faded white to look like a ghoul, like a zombie's kind of skin tone. Or not skin tone, but that it's devoid of life there at the top. And it almost looks like a turban too. To combine that with the ribs showing through the skinny stomach, the porte is actually a belly button. It's a very inspired design, chat. Someone cooked here, Jesse. Someone cooked. What the? I'm a sucker for any design with this like Pikachu type of thing. Oh, it does look like Pikachu when I make it red, though. Ew, I love it. Give it greenish yellow for shading. Looks awesome and yucky. That's exactly what I need to. Oh, body part trio. Gotcha. Brain, heart, and stomach. I don't know why, but its face make me think of dark and slightly desaturated blue. I can see that, too. Scarecrow wants me to give the tube so it can be more human. Not going to happen. Fusion! Ah! Is it greenish yellow? You know what? Okay, now that I have... Okay. We haven't gotten a name that I'm fully in love with yet. It's 4:33. I've been on for an hour and a half. I will need to get off soon. But I can, you know, still hang out for a little bit. If there's anything pressing I can work on that I need to do, I'll look at the compendium in a bit. Oh shit, it looks like this part is inverted shape of the funeral pyre. Which is so perfect. It does not resemble Pikachu. I mean, it's not that I said it resembles it, but the elements of it could trigger like, oh, that reminds me of Pikachu. Yellow creature with red cheeks. Nastagul. Nastagul, it doesn't have a true portmanteau into it, but it does have a sense of flow. Let's see. Preta. Gluttony. Hunger. Starving. Hunger. Hungary, which is a country, Hungary. Hungry, craving, glut. 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 Trap. I feel like I'd want this guy on my team. Just because I feel like he'd be so silly and like he's just good vibes. Like even though he looks mean and stuff, probably really fun. Ooh, I kind of like the gap there. It makes him look dorky. If, like I've said before, if there's like anything from Pokemon design that I really do want that's still present, is that all the creatures should still look like they can be your friends. You know? Uh, Pretator. Oh, Pretator. What's it based on? The Preta, the hungry ghost of Hinduism and Buddhism. Have you done a Xotempo based on X-rays? And if not, could you? I mean, I'm sure I could, but it doesn't really fit the theming of how I choose my monsters. That feels like a fun prompt for a Fakemon, more than a Xotempo. Um, but that would be a really fun channel. Challenge. Why did you choose the name Xotempo? I'm sure I'll answer this one a lot, so no worries. Um, so Xotempo, I wanted a name that wasn't something Mon, Buddymon, Oromon, etc. Mon. I wanted to create something that really felt uniquely could be my own, right? Even if it is Pokemon inspired. Um, and so originally it was something else, but I realized, one way or another, it felt to me personally still like a callback to Pokemon. So Xotempo stands for exotic tempo. You also got temporary because the evolutions are temporary, like Digimon, like they go back and forth as you need them to in battle and whatnot. And then the last part is for potential. So exotic tempo potential. So creatures with potential moving at exotic creatures moving in tempo with you, reaching their potential because of you as their trainer. So it, to me, it has like a really nice meaning. There's like, it's also an important word because it's something that solely belongs to myself and this franchise, right? If something is, even to this day, people wrongly accuse Digimon of being a copy of Pokemon. There's similarities, sure, but there's a whole genre of monster tamers. And one way or another, people are going to say, "Oh, this is too much like Pokemon. It's too much like this. It's too much like that." And I can, only worry about that stuff so much. Sometimes you have to just kind of let go and let them have whatever narrative they want to believe if they're not paying attention. But ultimately, to me, I wanted a word that was fun to say, that looked visually interesting, and above all, had meaning, in addition to being a very recognizable branding term. So in this case, Xotempo refer to the creatures themselves as a species, right? The Xotempo, the creatures itself. But it also is the name of the franchise, right? So Pokemon and Digimon do the same thing as well. Franchise is called Digimon. The creatures are called Digital Monster. Pokemon, Digimon. Yokai Watch, more simple. It's the brand is named after the not product, but in a way, what they're trying to sell. But the creatures are all yokai. Part of me wonders, could I do black with the white eyes? That looks certainly a lot more scary though. Yeah, he looks creepy there. Let's do it like that. And then, like I said, because I want it to look like a torso. And it'll also look simple but incredibly detailed design as far as its development, which I really like. I'm saying about a future sequel that the Preta Xotempo does get a third stage based on Stay Puft. It definitely won't. I'm now inspired to make my own unique creature collector based on prehistory. Digimon physically couldn't be ripping off Pokemon at first because they were developed at the same time. Even then, Digimon were pulling from Tamagotchi. The bond suffix is coincidental. This came back as a belly button. It is. So it looks like a porta as well as a belly button to further paint that the top portion is meant to be a torso and that the mouth is on the belly. So I'm very happy with that. Is there a video going over the basics of Xotempo? I would love to. I've already got like a whole bunch of video topics planned. In fact, why don't we go over that? Because I think I'm done for designing for the night. I do want to try, maybe actually, let me quickly do a few color permutations and you guys can tell me. I do like the yellow a lot. So maybe it's me changing the red mouth into, or the red lips into like purple so I can keep the yellow. But I'll be working more over on a pitch Bible more than... Oh, this give me X-Blood vibes, something like that. You know what? I think I really nailed the colors then. It could be that kind of puke green. Where is Alex when you need her? She'd be so happy to see finally a puke green. I don't hate this, but yeah, the green... You know, I'm going to keep it yellow. Honestly. I think that is a really... a really fun... Hold on. Because it's meant to be, you know, nasty. Let me go ahead. I'll probably turn that into purple instead. Because again, I don't want that Pikachu connection. Dang. Or you know what? What I'll do? Maybe I can keep it this color. But then I do something like... That's pretty fun. It needs something there. Oh, here we go. That's better. I think smaller. The yellow does have like kind of pukey green kind of quality to it, so. Are there shinies? There are. Gain a few pounds, you get stretch marks on your forehead out. Yeah, they won't be called shinies, but it'll be something like that. Instead of shinies, there should be color variants that aren't rare, so it adds more diversity to the creatures and you don't look the same. I've thought about that, but the logistics of that, for as far as marketing and branding, makes things a little more difficult. Um, it is something I've thought about because I like the idea of just like, yeah, making the world feel a little more alive, but that would be more fitting, say, for Pokemon, but these are spirits. So it's okay if they have more intentionality in their designs, you know? And that they're less loose ones. But you could conversely say, oh, well, spirits are unique and they could have their own. So, you know, you could make a case for either or, um, Eco Connection. Assume it's an Oni, it's a Preta, thank you. Um, all right, cool. So I never got a name, but it's fine. I'll come up with one for sure. Um, I wonder if I do a shape like this at the. All right, we'll do that for now. Okay, so that feels pretty damn good to me. Delete, 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 delete. Another two down. Simple but effective two-stage line. The first ghost, I think, of Xotempo. I'm gonna delete this one right here. That's a Preta with the big belly. Here's a Pisasha. I ended up going more for like the funeral pyre and just the general booth as the inspiration. Might need a little more detail, but honestly, like I said, I want to have more simple designs. You know? Angoul. Haunt and Ghoul. Haunt Hunger. Oh. Hungool. Haunt. Haunt. Goulash. Goulash. What is the second part? The lash part. Goulash is fun though. I thought it would be more interesting for minor color like a Volter make lightly pink and one dark maroon. The subtle shinies, I hate subtle shinies, but I guess it might be okay for like, you know, regular versions. Don't forget size chart, thank you. Is there any draconic Xotempo? There is one on the way. It'll be one of the later ones we do. Because I'll have to redesign this guy, not too much. Redress him. But yeah, think of it less like Pokemon where it's part of a dragon type, but then I have like a super diverse cast of many different species of creatures, right? Praying mantis, worm, dinosaur, bat, moth, ghost, turtle, frog, lizard, a yeti thing, a hyena, pumpkin thing. Although without Jack Frost, it feels a little out of place now. Makara, or rather a Gharial crocodile, dolphin, rhino. I'll be creating a beetle from Egypt based on Kefri. Owlbear, which also kind of feels a little out of place now as well. Mimic, whatever I end up doing for the Mimic line. Have a slime because every RPG has to have a slime. So I'm excited. I'm gonna keep him regardless. But yeah, so the diversity of range of creatures is great. Oh, as into lash out. Gotcha. Could also be ghoul and lash. But goulash is a food, right? Shiny Garchommo. Scarab. It's not. Yeah. It'll be like a scarab beetle type of thing. Jeffrey. Yes, indeed. Yes. It'll be cool. Um. God, I can't be tired now. I gotta go out. Okay. So, is there a dung beetle? Nah. Goulash as a food does make sense considering it's a literal stomach. So, what is goulash the food and how do you spell it? Ooh, you know what? Maybe I could make this look like a digestive tract if I added texture here. So it's like this is the belly and then the digestive tract. This is the tummy. I think an alfunk, basically a beaver and crocodile hybrid, would be, yeah, that could make a good Xotempo for sure. Anything kooky and crazy and fun, for sure, especially if it's like mixtures of things. Spelled the same minus an H. Gotcha. Yeah, goulash could be really good. Where's that food from though? Because I do want to honor the Indian roots if I can fit grant that in the name. Just like I was able to get Mbu with the HOO. But yeah, it would fit with the name, right? I mean, the fact that it's eating stuff. But all right, I want to do. Okay, it's 4:52, so we have about 10 minutes before I close up shop. Let's see. So I got 2, 4, 6. Oh, so next at some point I could develop a Yeti after one of these three because I do want to get a Yeti in here. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So basically, 2, 3. Wow, this is exciting. Hungary. Oh my God, how perfect is that? Hungary. You can't write this shit. So let's see. Is the Scarecrow Xotempo going to stay or be put in the? I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. But do you see what I mean? That it kind of doesn't fit the theming anymore. Same with Owlbear. I think those would fit better with like a medieval theme, which I'd be going for in a future one, like truly lean D&D. Maybe that means I take out fairies. No, but I do still need some medieval and western stuff, which I mean, I guess I do. We'll see. Is there a maggot? No. Make a squirrel cat. Squirrel cat studios. It's their national dish. Then I don't know. Because it's a very Indian concept. The preta, right? It works so well. So yeah, look, if I do end up taking out Scarecrow or Owlbear, I guess that would, I would come up with cool stuff. If there are any more, I guess I have plenty of Indian reference now. I could do more Africans like from the continent mythologies, right? I'll be doing one with the basket hyena. I got the Popo Bawa recently. Jeffrey from Egyptian mythology is there. Oh, I could do. I'll look it up. I will definitely see. Because again, I want diversity in both culture, mythos, and cryptids, as well as species is the big thing. Ideally, I don't want to double up on anything, right? Like, I don't want 2 moths or 2 bats. I have like an animal species for like each major kind of thing so far. That's why I didn't end up doing unicorn because I already have a horse in the form of the Kelpie, right? Favorite line so far? How many Xotempo? 111. Although you can't capture the legendaries, you can only befriend them and summon them. Um, Favorite line so far? My top favorite. That's like choosing your kids. That's hard. I would say I love these guys right here. I love both my shark line and I really love um I really love this tiger line right here. Like it's just perfect fit. The Nue is a tiger ape thingy, and then it split evolves one into a monkey and one into a tiger. Um, but I mean, I genuinely enjoy all my designs. Like I don't think anyone is. I think my favorite when I'm done will probably be the Aklut line. That's gonna be like my ace. I feel like. You can totally see that. Fallout 4 reference? Vault 111? No, it's more like there was a time where all I was seeing was 1111 111. It's like, why am I seeing that all the time? Like it's crazy. It's like actually crazy. And then I would just be seeing like 444, 333, 222. But above all, mostly 111 and 11. And I asked someone, or I mentioned it, and people were telling me, like, Bonnie, like, that's your angel number. It means something's looking out for you. And around that time, I had just been diagnosed with, like, general anxiety and depression. So I was like, oh, it made me feel good. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm seeing these 111s. Even though I'm not religious or, super spiritual, I was like, I like that concept. It's, like, romantic enough to enjoy. And so then, yeah, when I was, like, thinking about again, I don't remember, but it was like sometime last week, someone mentioned the number of creatures. And I had planned for around 140 with about like 141, 142, something like that, with like 8 of them being legendaries that you couldn't capture. Or not 8, but maybe like so you'd have the 3 gods who are just story characters. And then 4 that you would interact with and you could summon them to fight on your behalf. You don't catch them, but like for all intents and purposes, you record them in your decks. Um, and then I realized like I'm chasing after 150, 151 Pokemon standard. And as far as time and energy and resources and how much I've been doing to try and like distance myself from Pokemon as much as I love it and there's obvious inspiration and homage to it, like I'm gonna carve my own path and do 111. So, favorite design you've done is the Scarecrow line. Something about the turnips colors hit me right. Yeah. Um, I would say the Aklut would probably, hopefully, by the time I'm done with it, it'll be, you know, my favorite. Okay. Let's do one last thing because it's about to be 5. I want you guys to tell me what kind of videos you want to see me do. I'm trying to make it my own thing. That was very important. So, Xotempo video series. Right? I have like a couple of ideas because, in my Discord, you guys have sent me a lot of questions I can answer and then I could slot them into these videos. Hope the all bear stays. We'll see. Theme is the most important thing. So the cool part is when I create designs, it just kind of helps me go even further to make sure the theme lands, right? Okay, so video series that I could theoretically make for YouTube because I want to teach an intro video, right? Which would be the basics of Xotempo. What does that mean? Let's kind of go over that stuff. Intro basics. So I could talk about I feel like I can make a whole video on domains, or not domains, but like I'll just mark number of creatures, um, classes slash types essentially. Um, oh yeah, true. Inspiration, uh, general. I'll say general story. Okay, so then from there, I could do a video on full, like a full video on um types slash classes. I think that deserves its own. Uh, oh, a character video, so I can introduce like the main characters and stuff. Character intro, so that would be a more human focused episode. The starters in question mark. Um, the chaos and order could really be explored. So the thing is, you guys would mostly know about this stuff because you guys have seen it. Chaos and order up there. Okay, true. Yeah, I guess that would definitely be its own thing because I still haven't figured that out. Patching system. The Xotempo disc? No, I'm not going to show everyone everything. I mean, after a while, once I finish all the designs, I won't be working on everything like to the same level that I did on stream, right? I want to keep a lot of these things hidden. Because I have so much that I have to still like figure out, and like at the end of the day, I'm trying to sell a product, right? You can't give everybody everything right off the bat, then there's no reason for people to buy it and support you, right? So I could talk about in the catching system, um how to like, or not how to fill out the decks. Maybe in that I could say decks, number of creatures. There could be some stuff about the decks. So I won't say the number of creatures in the beginning. Classes, types, inspiration, general story, chaos, order. Ooh, you know what? And then I'll have an episode to talk about the legendaries that you won't be able to catch them. You would befriend them and summon them to battle for you. Legendaries episode. I could really, talk about the gods plus a teaser for one legend, which I'll do a stream on that guy too. Because in Pokemon you had in Gen 1, and Gen 1 is my, guiding star for a lot of things. You had the 3 legendary birds, you had Mewtwo, so 4 legendary. And then you had Mew, but that doesn't really count. So you guys would be befriending 4 legends and possibly a 5th. Also, Scarecrow had to be replaced. I did find the Yin Shu and the Kogpuk. Either or. Oh, for a Rancor Wampa? I'm not doing Rancor or Wampa. Remind me. Well, you know what? I'll just write that down so I can look that up. Because if it is based more on maybe if the turnip. I like the idea of keeping Halloween. But because I did base it off a general Scarecrow. Yin Shu or Koga. That's true, because it could have Scarecrow vibes and then be more inspired by something else. That would definitely make me feel more inspired to fit it into the theming of the region. Because again, I just want, good representation of various cultures. I'm only missing, like, Egyptian is one that I'm missing. That's why I'm going to add Kefri right here. And then the Sphinx right here. Chinese was lacking a little bit. We have the Big Shi, which is right here. And then I'll probably be doing a 3-stage Phoenix line. Less bird on fire and more of like a glorious, illustrious bird. And I also don't have a bird. I mean, I have these guys, the Phoenix in them. So it might not be Phoenix. It could be Kirin, which is this really cool dragon deer. We'll see. Pumpkin Crow? Who's that? Take care, Spore. Maybe I could do some more Middle Eastern stuff. Funny enough, I was saying no yokai, but like, I really don't have as much yokai. Which is so interesting. Because it was one of my fears. So maybe I could do some more interesting yokai. At the very least, like for example, for my Slide Rock Bolter, I could add the Namazu as its base form, and then it evolves into this massive round whale. Phoenix could focus more on rebirth instead of fire. True. I do also potentially want to add Baba Yaga as a 2-stage. And less the hag and more of the house with chicken legs. Which, funny enough, you know, I just added this pyre, which is very house-like. So, I don't know how I do that. Because the house would look something like this. But, yeah, maybe that's enough videos for now. So there's an intro video, a classes video, character video, starters, chaos and order explored, patching system, which I have to figure out, legendaries, and that could include the teaser for one legend. Baba Yaga, yeah, I feel like I would want to do that because I don't have a lot of Slavic and Russian culture explored in the designs. There's some Norse, right, with my frost giants and my fire giants. There's a lot of indigenous ones. I know I established a cat already, but what if it's based on Schrodinger's? That's so clever. And the idea was what? That it's in a box? Or... Because originally, I was going to just do, like, Kate Sith for the first level cat, and then and have it evolve into the Mishi Peshu. And then for the dog, the dog one, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna be greedy. I'm basing it off my dog Coda. And so it would have 2 forms. So they're parallel to each other. So you'd get one big cat evolution, the Mishi Peshu. And for the dog, you get one big dog evolution, the Bull Gay, or the Bull Guy. And then you have a cute one. So the cat would evolve into a fire fox, because foxes are cat-like. And then the dog would evolve into a tanuki, which is a raccoon dog, which is a raccoon, which is dog-like. So I like having those double parallels. So Kate Sith was a black cat with this white patch, and it's kind of like a happy-go-lucky kind of cat. But Schrodinger's cat is so clever that I have to just mark it down here just in case. I'm not sure how I would do that without overtly having it. How would it work? Is it like peering out of under a trash can or something? It could be an underlying theme for a line, but that is very fun. Do a bear based off of bear claw treat? Nah, it wouldn't fit the theming though, because bear claw treat is just a food. Like, that's more a Pokemon thing. This is all myths and cryptids, right? Owlbear is a cryptid in D&D. And if I am planning on having a more medieval and like European kind of, if not setting, like direction for the next one, I feel like Owlbear would go well with that one. Either make that like That way it could share space with like Griffin and other kind of like fantastical kind of beasts. Granted, a lot of these are fantastical beasts, don't get me wrong. But looking at a lot of these all have really awesome backgrounds. And then it's like owlbear. You know what I mean? Like that's the only part that's kind of like, I'm like coming up with all these stuff. Here's the Monunganal, and here's how I got it to look like it's a severed body part. Here's this, here's that. It's based off of this, and then this one thing's like, I'm an owlbear. Skinwalker Ranch. What is that exactly? I'm not doing a Wendigo. Maybe the Chupacabra. A Chupacabra. I don't know. I already have the dogs that I really like. But seeing all these designs are cool. If any land you'd like to revisit, I definitely, as I said before, the Aklut, which is a orca with a wolf. I really want to redesign this guy because I worry that he feels a little too old. Oh, by the way, this guy's name, I think it's going to be Giluscious or Gilushi. Because he's wearing a ghillie suit, has like a hood and a cape. And a ghillie suit is just like being covered in foliage. It's based on the ghillie dew, and then lush like lush forest. Right? And he's got luscious hair, so I like Gilushy, something like that. It even sounds like Leshy too, which is like another kind of forest spirit. Wonderland homage, like Alice in Wonderland, like Jabberwocky. That's true. It could be Jabberwocky or the Cheshire Cat. Maybe that one again would fit more a medieval or like a western one. Chupacabra is originally not a dog, but a reptilian dog. Oh, I got you. Reptilian-esque dog. Yeah, I guess that would fit like kind of a cryptid. Although I would want it to be kind of based on some sort of animal in the same way I've like really leaned into a species, So I already have lizard. I already have dog on the way. I wouldn't be opposed to a chimeric kind of creature, but I'm not feeling super inspired for Chupacabra, to be honest. Curious on what the first stage will. Oh yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's such a great point, Dingus. It's definitely meant to be like an evolution type of starting point. So I really want to create like a very cute, like maybe four-legged creature that like, what's in there? And I think that's so exciting. If like the face was like ambiguous and cute and interesting, it would probably be one of the only Xotempo that could move its mouth or have some sort of like way to emote. And it could have parts of, you know what? And looking at this line now, Bigfoot still kind of fits here, but I would change up his design just a little bit. I think I do want to change. This does not feel like a good second stage form for. So you know what I could do? Maybe I could bring this guy as a two-stage line if I am removing, say, the owl. I am really kind of leaning into taking Owlbear out and putting him in the next batch with like Wonderland and Western stuff. So like a Mind Flayer snail for Cthulhu. Because that feels kind of tactical. It would, or you know what? I would redesign him just to be a little more cutesy looking. I gotta really sit down and think about it. I may have gotten that wrong, though, as I've been heard. Give it a Minior vibe? Who? Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. Chupacabra equals goat sucker, blood sucker. Curious about what you draw in, what you draw with. I draw with a Wacom Intuos Pro on Photoshop on Windows 11 on my Beast on my PC. And then I draw on a 2024 iPad Pro also on Photoshop when I want to do line work. First idea I had was like a star. Life wouldn't exist without a star anyway. Xotempo, just I don't know what the name would be. I think that's too early, but I will definitely mark down a star. Something with like potential, right? That's the kind of main thing. Something that could be like molded. Oh, I see. That's why you said Xotempo, like potential. Gotcha. Also, I hope you saw the description for the Koga Puck. I don't think I saw it. Oh, here it is. If you're wondering what a Koga Puck is, most depictions show them as large two-tusked muskrats. That's not really pumpkin, so wouldn't fit. Dang. Large toothy grins and exposed intestines? No, that wouldn't fit my scarecrow line. I want to. It could be another vegetable. Vegetable. Why did I say it like that? Star potential. Maybe like. Let's see. Yeah, maybe it could. Maybe every generation it's like the star, and it's just like ambiguous, cute. You know, kind of creature. It could be kind of like, again, Eevee is like definitely the kind of vibe I was pretty much going for. Where it's evolving based on the direction you take it. And that's entirely, your potential. Maybe you could have a tail like a star as well. Well, I guess that's a little like Luxray. And it can have each one, like for each generation, if I ever get to continue making these, they could have features of like my original Honengyo, the skunk ape. That way their designs still kind of feel present a little bit. And it's this truly ambiguous thing that could go anywhere. You know? Maybe it has like this flowing thing so it looks like it's a shooting star. And you made a wish. And then every generation there's going to be a new... It would probably... I'd want to create a design that feels like I could re-up on it every generation. I also like this concept because it kind of removes the fatigue people have sometimes. I mean, I think for most people, it's not like a thing that most people go through. But like, some people don't know which starter to choose, or they're afraid because it's like, I like what this looks like, but I don't know what it's going to become, and I might not like, the look of it. So, you being given this shooting star, or like whatever I end up doing with potential, feels kind of fun. Alright, so you guys got a free starter design, just as a starting point. Maybe he doesn't have a tail. Maybe it's just a shooting star type of thing. I don't mean part of the pub. I mean just in case replacement. Gotcha. I want to keep the scarecrow though. It just feels out of place. Looks like a star-nosed mole. That's how I felt with Quaquaval. Gotcha. Quaquaval, I believe, actually. Yeah, Quaquaval. I've heard a lot of people not being, of course, happy with Incineroar. They're like, not another firefighting! And it basically is. It's a wrestler. It's fire dark, but he's still punching the shit out of people. Marina, Samurott. A lot of people didn't like Samurott. So, at the very least, I think there's still potential. I think so, too. The thing is, we'd have to come up with um I like firefighting too. I'll keep the okay, this is what I'll say. I'll keep Scarecrow if I boot out Owlbear, and Owlbear gets replaced with something evolving into Jack Frost. That way I have like a duality kind of thing where it's and uh Scarecrow and Jack Frost being Halloween and Christmas. You know what I mean? Christmas elf dude that rides on a snowflake. Is there any starters? The creatures I just showed over there. So that way, Scarecrow could feel like there's more intentionality, like it was added because it's part of a duo. But the thing is, this is an India region, right? India-inspired region. So it would be really dumb for me to not put the Yeti there, right? Because the Yetis are located in Himalayas. So I love the abominable snowman becoming the Yeti. So I would need to have something else. That's Owlbear and you're dead, buddy. Hey, so it might be Sayonara or Scarecrow. No, honestly, like I said, theming is the most important thing. I could get rid of the Slide Rock Bolter. It's like this giant whale, like land whale. But we do have, two sharks, a mollusca, or not mollusca, but Luska and the Dakawaka. But I don't know. Like I said, theming is important. Making sure everything feels intentional. Oh, it's 5:22, so my ride's coming in an hour. Let me do something real quick. Going out. I'm gonna put whitening strips in my teeth. You guys are gonna. I'm just trying out here to protect the Xotempo I really like. My future team is in jeopardy. I like the owlbear too, but again, as I told you, it doesn't feel like it fits the India theme very well. And again, I know I've said, there's plenty of other cultures that I wanted to represent. But owlbear is like a D&D kind of thing. And before you say, well, Bon, Mimic is too, and so is the Slimes. The Slimes are a general. It's a general JRPG thing. There we go. I'm putting my strips in. All right. Tell me what other stream you get this kind of content on. All right. It feels like it belongs to my team. Any ideas on future starter potentials? Yeah, I think it's too early for me to really commit. But I mentioned the other day, it could be like, I don't think I would do the Megazord, Ultraman, and something else. It would be, I think, especially if I'm thinking medieval, it could be something cool like Griffin, Owlbear, and something else. I bet you could find mythology. That's true. And Rec, if we could find that, I'll keep the Owlbear. Guaranteed. I just need a mythology to tie it into. Otherwise, it just feels like I just slapped it in there, like a filler. You know? Don't Brian. Okay, here you go. Premium content. I gotta keep these in for 1 hour. So, if you guys can find me something for Owlbear, he might get to stay. Because he's like one of the only things here that feels kind of like tacked in. Everything else truly has so much level of backstory and concept building. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would also need something to evolve into Jack Frost. We could excuse the owl hair bear being here through British Columbia. There's no real owl bear in real life. Um, there are, but not owl bears. I think owl bear is truly a D&D creation. Which again, that feels very fantasy to me. Which then, if next region is very medieval European, would fit very well for that one. You know, and I have medieval representation in this game. I have it with the dragons, which is also a worldwide kind of thing, but I'm going for like a European dragon looking kind of thing. I have the fairies. That's like a very European fairies and pixies. Um, Putting the two together, but that would be then my own creation and not truly a mythological thing that fits in the same way that I'm treating mythological and cryptid together, you know? Well, yeah, as far as choosing the inspiration, like the bear creature, for sure. That is at least a way, you know? Don't talk to strangers. Take care, Danny. Thank you for hanging out. Don't eat anything with tomatoes. Is that true? Don't take the strangers, she said originally. You heard it here first. But yeah, we'll see. How about a centipede Xotempo? There's both a cryptid and a yokai. We have some bugs, right? We have... Well, we're adding the Kefri. We have Mothman. We got a praying mantis bacteria. Centipede. We have sent a scorch, right? We're no longer strangers here. I'll say this. The things that I want to put in this game and concept are things that we haven't necessarily seen in Pokemon. Obviously, there's plenty of crossover. But I'm trying to do it my way. About the Manamanam, you think we can expand on the design by adding a stringy tail to mimic? I think so. I think so for sure. I was self-conscious about it for sure because someone said ball sacks, but that was just how I drew it. I kind of get that movement going on here, you know? The entrails could also look like oak tails, you know? Something like that could work out. It does extend the silhouette as well. Why are they pretend that have a wooden helmet? Because every single first stage wear wooden helmets. Because they are concealing their true identities until you break into their potential. And it breaks, and then they evolve to become who they were meant to be. And then you further help them push their potential, which is why a lot of the third forms are very sapient or humanoid in design, as if the human intervention really helped them become further than they could ever believe they could be. Pangolin. We don't have a pangolin. Armadillo. Is there an armadillo in Pokemon? Kind of, sort of. Or at the very least, species of creatures that we haven't seen, right? That's been like something that I want to do. And when I do my second pass, I'm going to really be like with the frog, for example, right? Maybe I will look more into frogs that we haven't seen explored within Pokemon. Definitely want a beetle. You guys know how much I love bugs. Angling sand encrypted known as the Veo. That's why it was originally called Potempo. Why was it originally called Potempo? Armadillo plus penguin and use that to make pangolin? Oh, I get that. Oh, I could do the bunyip as a second one and make that a hippo because that's kind of what I wanted to do. It could be a... Wait, but hold on. Oh, if I were to replace owlbear. Bunyip would be a good one because I don't have a lot of Australian indigenous. It could be that. It could be that. Okay. Well, chat, it's 5:30. I got to start getting ready to get out of there. Armadillo. But yes, it's been very, very fun. If you guys think of any second stage that I could like really make sense of to get into a Cthulhu, feel free to let me know. Armadillo evolves into tank. That pretty sounds like a Pokemon. Hippo, walrus, platypus. Yeah, it's this weird kind of concoction, huh? Which is fun because it gives me a lot of room to cook. But yeah, cool. I'm so excited to continue this. Again, if you're able to think of any ones for Jack Frost, that because I really want Abominable Snowman into the Yeti. That's just too perfect. So I would love if I am keeping Scarecrow, I would want to put Jack Frost in to be his contemporary. But he would have to evolve from another, how do you say, like, snowy, kind of wintry cryptid, of which there are plenty. So, but yes, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Tomorrow's Friday, and I take off Fridays anyway. I'll be driving very early to Tampa for a very important eye appointment. Ice Queen, no, I think we were talking about Ice Queen to be a potential third stage, but I would need something to evolve into Jack Frost. Although maybe I could make Jack Frost a first stage. No, but what would be the Scarecrow's counterpart? I don't know. But all right, guys, take care. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. I'm talking to Shirley because I just put the teeth whitening things. Only you get only that kind of cool stuff on this stream when outside of drawing pictures, huh? Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Oh, with the eye surgery? No eye surgery. There's no cure for my degenerative eye disease. But it would be very impactful. The kind of stuff that I'm going to get out of this test. But I appreciate it. Appreciate the vibes, of course. So, guys, I'll say it again. Have a great day today. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. New video with Ron coming out on his channel on Saturday, so look forward to that, okay? You're going to enjoy it. Take care and peace, everybody.